hello, Free Enterprise. Is Penguiner joining me on commentary today?
Is Frizz.
Is Penguiner joining me on commentary?
Thanks for the intro, Penguin. Yep, it's Fries, and good afternoon, everybody. Good mid-afternoon action going on today between FF4FE and riversmccown.
Yeah, so these are two of the best runners in this tournament. Of course, both are undefeated so far, so we're in for a definitely exciting match.
Yep, and it looks like we're going to, well, we may get a quick start here. It looks like Sid's going to be our starting character. I just reminded these guys started racing about almost 15 minutes ago, and we're just waiting for the delay to catch up before we start seeing some of the action here on the Free Enterprise.
And so for a little bit of context for the stakes of this match, so anyone with 3 wins will get a chance to make brackets at least. But whoever wins today will go up to 4-0, at which point they're guaranteed a spot in brackets. If you end up with 3 wins at the end of 5 rounds, then you may have to play in a play-in match. So winning here is a big deal as it guarantees that spot as well as improves your seeding.
That's right. Yep. So the guaranteed bye week in between the 2 rounds is on the line in this match here this afternoon.
So question in the chat from Freddle, wondering how they have the same game. So they use the same RNG seed. So all the randomization of the Free Enterprise is the same. So they get the same character, same bosses, same key items, and all that.
Yep, the only thing is they just don't know what each other's doing. So I think that's what's going to come down today is just the routing that each of these players is going to take throughout the game and just who gets to meet their objectives first. So in this tournament, the Fabul Gauntlet, it's a 1v1 tournament. Each player at the beginning of the game is going to be given 5 random objectives that they're going to have to complete in order to receive the crystal, at which point they can tackle the final boss and beat the game.
All right, we should be getting started any second now. So I think you mentioned Sid starts, so definitely that's going to help out early game. Sid starts out pretty strong, but kind of falls off later. So probably going to go looking for some weapons for Sid early on, maybe an axe or an earth hammer.
All right, looks like we got Edward, and well, we got a really awesome sword. So I wonder if somebody threw it out of a pond for the characters to start with, as they each start with an Excalibur.
Yeah, and I think generally in this tournament, especially these 2 runners, tend to favor going to Ordeals fairly early. So with that Excalibur there, it's probably an even higher priority. So when they do find that Cecil, then they can make use of that.
All right, they're getting their airship, and let's see what our 5 objectives are for today.
So I saw Baron Key, Antlion Nest.
I saw a pan somewhere.
Yeah, Cagnazo as well. Okay, so Antlion Nest is going to be pretty easy. That's available right away, and an easy boss there that people are going to take care of anyway.
Right. Oh, and also we're going to have to find Dr. Lugay. And it looks like right now, Fleury's just going on a quick treasure hunt to find some item, hopefully a good weapon for Sid to use.
So Fleury finds a cursed ring in Damsian basement, which is a very helpful item. Top runners know how to make use of that to manipulate agility. It actually decreases your stats, but doing that in certain ways can actually help your party overall improve their DPS. So having that available is a very nice item.
Looks like we found some life potions. Thor rages, and I believe he's still in Baron in the Baron Inn shop.
And Rivers did peek into the Baron Inn as well, so he saw Palom was the character there. So someone you kind of want to get early, start getting those spells. Palom's pretty strong, just with a few levels. But it was guarded by Golbez, which can be a little bit slow, although at that first spot it should be too much trouble. However, it does mean that that is not the gating of underground, so it's not going to be the only way to get the magma key or hook.
Right, and Fleury looks like he's going to go try to get that first objective out of the way by going right to the Antlion nest.
Yeah, with a Sid, that's probably not too much trouble. I haven't noticed any Sid weapons just yet, but maybe he'll find one somewhere in Antlion Cave.
Oh, that was looked like it was a samurai bow, so if you can find some arrows to go with that, I believe Sid can equip bow and arrow, so...
Yep, so that'll give him that back row glitch, so Sid can safely attack from the back row and be a little bit safer from enemy physical attacks. And also the samurai bow gives plus 10 strength, so using that can boost Sid's damage as well.
Also with a ninja hat and karate, that'll improve his strength as well. So he's probably going to be hitting pretty hard here on this whatever's in this antline. I think I saw Rivers dip into the waterfall cave, and that was a pale dim, I believe, and he just reset right out of that just to do a quick boss check, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's not the hardest boss, so having it there is not the best thing, but it doesn't matter too much because we don't need to do that boss anyway.
And in the Antlion Cave, it looks like we have the Kaipo Inn guards. Well, there goes one of the guards. I thought I was going to get all three of them with that Thor Rage, but this fight should go down pretty quickly for Fleury.
And that's the Austrian soldier here, and the starting boss in Baron Castle is the other guards, the two Baron guards. So that's a couple of free bosses out of the way already, so those later spots might end up being harder with these easier bosses showing up already.
And it looks like we found a spoon in the Antlion Cave, so that's one more key item there. And completion of objective number 2 for Fleury.
I guess Rivers did a little more shopping and now is heading up Mount Hobs, so hoping to pick up an additional character.
All right, and that's Yang sitting there on top of Hobs. And it looks like the price for finding Yang is going to be having to fight Asura.
All right, so it looks like Rivers is preparing for what we call Gray Face or Lifelock strats. So if you time your attacks for whenever Asura casts Life 1, then it'll spin her back to that Gray Face so that she always keeps casting Life 1 rather than curing herself. So doing that saves you from having to use Star Veil or otherwise set up Reflect to prevent those heals on Asura.
Yep, and he's just working through that HP now, as looks like Fleury has gone to Mysidia just to check out the shops there, see if there's any good weapons, armor, or items in either of those shops.
I do see an Ogre Axe for sale in the Mysidia weapon shop. Those are a little expensive, but definitely want to pick that up for Sid if he can, so looks like he's emptying out his inventory.
It looks like he's trying to figure out exactly what to sell that doesn't involve us selling that samurai bow, or who's still just short of that 45,000 you need. All right, he gets it, and he's got his Ogre Axe for Sid.
And a Thunderclaw for sale there as well, which with Yang on Hobs could come in handy. There are a number of bosses that are weak to Thunder, and having that available helps a lot.
It's a lot more than I ever thought in this game. As Rivers is heading now, he's heading down into the Antlion Cave now.
So I did notice Rivers had an Earth Hammer for that Asura fight. It might be this Earth Hammer that Fleury is looking at in the shop.
Yes, I think because Rivers did go to that shop already.
And I guess Earthhammer is a bit cheaper, about half the price. And for Sid, it's about the same power between those two. But Ogre X is more versatile. Either Cecil or Kane can also use it.
And also picking up some cabins here, and leaves in Silveria.
Looks like he also bought some unicorns. Proud of him. That's my signature item.
And Fleury looks like he's heading up to Hobs, and he'll probably be happy when he sees that Yang up there, since he did buy that Thunderclap.
Be interesting to see if Fleury also goes for that lifelock strat, or if he decides to pop a couple Star Veils to put the wall on Asura. And River is fighting the officer fight in Antlion. Having that Earth Hammer, he clears it a little bit faster than Fleury did. Just one cast of that versus, I think, 2 Thor Rages that Fleury had to use.
Right, yep, and the general retreats, and he's through that fight, thus completing the Antlion Cave for him, and receiving his spoon.
Okay, so Fleury also doing that lifelock strat, just timing his attacks. Whenever Asura casts life, and keeping her in that form rather than curing.
Yep, and there, the Asura is down. And looks like Rivers is heading over to Fabul.
This Rivers with the long con. He's put out some guides suggesting that people should go to Ordeals and put off Fabul until they can potentially get underground and avoid a double dip. But we see him now going against his own advice.
Yeah, which would be interesting if he ends up having to triple dip or double dip Fabul at some point.
All right, well, if this was a long con, looks like Fleury's not fooled, so he's also going to Fabul. So runners more or less in sync now. They've done most of the same checks. Fleury just seconds behind getting into this fight.
All right, looks like Rubicon's going to be the one they're going to have to deal with here in Fabul.
So no Ice Claws. Of course, Ruby is weak to ice. Fleury may have a bit of an advantage having that Ogre Axe over the Earth Hammer, because the Earth Hammer actually has a fire type elemental on its attack, so it will do reduce damage if Rivers decides to attack.
All right, and there's Rubicon with a glare, so Yang's going to take a big hit there.
Yeah, so Rivers is casting the Earth Hammer rather than attacking with it because of that fire resistance.
Right, also looks like he's trying to use the can't run glitch or trick to help slow down Rubica just a little bit. Fleury's through the fight.
And he picks up the hook for completing Fabul, so we could be in for a tough early game getting through that hook route.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for that. And picking up a good spear there in case he finds Kane at some point, if he chooses to keep it instead of just selling it for money.
So Fleury did come out a bit ahead in that fight, and I think it was mainly the Ogre Axe versus the Earth Hammer. And also Fleury was playing a little bit more risky. I think Rivers took more effort to make sure all his characters stayed alive, whereas Fleury was fine, just finishing it off with just a Sid.
And picking up some illusions there in case he doesn't find a character that has blink in the near future, especially if he does have to dip that hook route. That should make that go just a little bit easier.
So we might see dips into the Eblin Cave just to see the character for now. probably won't be going for the boss immediately unless it's something super easy.
Yeah, I don't see them doing it unless it's like Water Hag or something else that could be considered free.
River's just checking the first two chests. He dropped a save before, probably doesn't want to fight those stalemen in the trap chest. So probably not going to bother checking any of the others for now.
Right, and oh, there's some sirens here in the Eblon item shop, so we may see a siren grind at some point. And coffins as well, so that's a nice 2-for-1 there you get in the item shop.
Coffin's a little bit less valuable now as, with the officer fight already out of the way, and the Baron guards in the Baron Castle are probably not too difficult without this. So really just the Dark Imps and maybe some egg grinding that the coffins will be useful for.
Right, and it looks like Rivers is going to be coming up here on his character just to give it a check, and well, that's not going to be a free fight at the Rubicon spot.
Yeah, so Leviathan there. Having that Thunderclaw will be nice, but they'll probably come back later and get some more levels on Yang, get Berserk on Rosa, and then come back and Berserk Yang up for that fight.
Right, and or hope to find the Magma Key at some point. Although secretly, I hope they do not.
So both runners still have both Baronin and Mount Ordeals. I would sort of like to see Baronin first to pick up that Palom, but we'll see what these runners decide.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking would probably be the logical play for me. But you never know. Maybe somebody might go to Ordeals first. Looks like Rivers is going to try Baronin first. See if he can get that Palom.
So actually picking up that Rosa is a bit of a double-edged sword here because it'll take a little bit longer for Golbez to eat up his characters, and also is a little bit more risky in terms of who gets to stay up. So River's taking out some of his characters. So Golbez always, the Shadow Dragon gets summoned and then will eat a number of characters until you have 2 left on the screen. So River's getting down to just 2, so he doesn't have to play with that.
I was going to ask that at what point does it eat less than 3, but so it's as long as 2 are alive, the Shadow Dragon shouldn't be hungry. And it looks like Fleury is climbing up Ordeals right now.
Yeah, so slight divergence. This is also understandable, getting some levels on his characters. The second Baronin fight can be a bit tough. It's got about 4,000 HP. So this also makes sense. And then Palom will get his levels when he goes to the Mad Ogre chest in Eblin.
And Fleury setting up Rosa with that Samurai Bow and some Charm Arrows for the first boss fight here.
So River's found the dolls in the second fight in Baronin. So isn't the toughest boss, but you do want to kind of take everything out at the same time. If you have just blue dolls or just orange dolls, then they combine into the big doll. So probably going to try to make use of that Earth Hammer to do multi-target damage, although I'm not sure it'll actually take them all out at once.
Right, and Fleury is fighting Valvalis at the Mylon spot there on Hobs. Looks like using kamikaze strats on her.
Yeah, so that spot in particular actually does not have much magic defense. So spells, which includes kamikazes, actually work against Valvalis here.
And River's killing the orange dolls And there he goes. He gets the Grey Dolls as well, getting them all down roughly the same time.
Yeah, so very nicely timed by Rivers with those Thor Rages. Popped a couple early just to lower the health, and then the Earth Hammer plus one more Thor Rage got them all taken care of.
Yep, and he receives the Luca key, so not quite the Magma key he was probably hoping for at that point.
And Flurry screen, you can see the physical evasion is there for Valvolus. So Sid having trouble doing, and the Yang having trouble doing damage with just regular attacks. It is nice having Rosa with the aim command that's gives max accuracy, so she always hits with that.
Right, River's checking the Mist Dragon spot, and he's finding Odin there. He's gonna just go ahead and do a reset there. No need to kill that boss.
I think Flurry will still make it through this fight. His character is starting to get petrified. Seemed like the best way to go about this was using those kamikazes. I'm not sure if he still has any left.
Right, and Rivers is on his way up Mount Ordeals as well. And he has that Palom that should help out just a little bit.
Yeah. Level 1 Palom won't do all that much damage. He might decide to take a fight on the way to level up. Flurry actually resets all the way back to the bottom of the mountain, so he's going to go for Baron in first instead. So Flurry perhaps falling a little bit behind, having to take that reset.
Right, and Rivers is starting the Valvolus fight now as Flurry heads into the Baronet. And Rivers is going to go ahead and just reset.
So he doesn't even want to deal with that, so he's just going to go for the hook route, I guess. It's understandable. With the Earth Hammer, he probably could have gone through that a little bit easier than Flurry. Just casting it to use that low-level Quake spell.
Okay, it looks like Rivers is checking out the Kaipo shop and maybe seeing what character is there.
We have Edge in the bed, so having a Sand Ruby show up will help out a lot. Edge is, of course, pretty strong, and we already have a spoon to throw at something. This is probably just a shop check mainly for Rivers. He'll probably make sure he has all the items available for sale in the overworld before heading down that hook route, just to make sure he's prepared for whatever shows up.
All right, picking up some more Star Veils and some Mute Bells as well.
I think he did pick up a few bombs, so he might actually be looking to go back to Ordeals and kill some zombies for levels on Palom. We'll see.
And looks like Flurry got some Star Veils up before Golbez was able to have his dragon come out, so he's going to get through that fight pretty quickly and then face the doll.
I don't think Flurry ever picked up that Earth Hammer, so he might have a little more trouble on this fight. I don't know if he picked up anything else that will help him here.
And then picking up some vampires from the pass shop.
Alright, so those vampires will definitely help out a lot on that Valvolus. They do probably 500 to 600 damage per hit, so just throw 4 or so of those and she'll be taken care of. Oof, and Flurry had to take a reset on the dolls, not having enough AoE to take them out easily.
Also, while Rivers is climbing Mount Ordeals, and Fleury's doing some shopping there in Baron. Just want to take the moment to thank our restreamer, Smapety and Antidale for tracking for us today.
Alright, River's back for round 2 on Valvolus, so with those vampires in hand, he should have a much easier time here.
Yep, he bought 7. Looks like he's probably going to use a few of those, so this should go just a little bit quicker.
And this fight should give enough experience to get Palom his level 2 spells, so he can perhaps make use of those on the next couple fights.
Alright, he's through Valvalis, and Rose is learning Cure 2, and Palom, it looks like Palom's getting, at least Geppy's got his level 2 spell.
Rue's playing it safe and saving up before the second fight. And changing roads as well, of course. That second fight is always a back attack. Is that a Kegnazo?
That would be a Kegnazo.
So this is another one of our objectives here. So Ordeals is required. So Kegnazo is weak to ice with the wave down and weak to lightning with the wave up. So may try to time spells with Palom in order to hit those weaknesses. Also has the option to use that Thunderclaw to hit the thunder weakness when the wave is up.
Right, looks like he's switching to vampire use now, just since Palom and Rosa are both down at the moment.
Don't think he has enough vampires left to fully take down Kegnazo just with those, so he'll have to mix in other attacks. I think he has one vampire left. Might be saving that for the finishing blow, because once Kegnazo goes in the shell, the physical defense is much higher. And that should do it.
Yep, and there it is. So we can go ahead and light up that number 3 for Rivers.
So Fleury's back in that Baron Inn fight. I'm not sure what he picked up that he's hoping will help him this time around.
No, I didn't see either. Let's see, we are going to see what our key item is from Ordeals. I believe that was a crystal ring.
Yep, so not the most useful item, although it does give pretty good defense and gives a bonus 5 agility, which can be helpful. But the main prize here is, of course, that Kegnazo objective, and also potentially, if they find a Cecil, it will also be very helpful to have him as a paladin with that Excalibur in their inventory.
And Rivers gets past the Karate Man very quickly. And Fleury has Golbez down, and is going to be taking on the dolls here again in just a second.
So let's see if this works out better for him this time. Coming in with pretty low health, although sit in the back row should be fairly safe. Yeah, just taking 1 damage at a time probably has a decent chunk of armor on him.
Right, so it looks like he'll just be trying to take down the dolls as quickly as possible. and use some sort of multi-attack to get the last of each of the dolls.
Yeah, just hitting them one at a time should work out okay. It's a little bit slower though than what Rivers was able to do with that Earth Hammer. So it may actually work out in his favor that he didn't quite kill that second blue doll when one hit. So it has probably just 10 to 30 HP left. So a Thor Rage will be able to take it out, and maybe he can use that to take the last two out at the same time.
Yep, so I'm thinking that's what he's thinking right now too, is because he switches focus to the other blue doll.
He's being safe, actually trying to peep them, but I guess it doesn't work on boss pit enemies.
No, I don't think so. See if he's going to use a Thor Rage here, or...
Yeah, even if this doesn't take out both, I think you'll have enough time to get an attack off.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, no, not quite.
Ooh.
Doll's too fast. He might be able to beat this just 1v1. The glance could be dangerous if he doesn't have any resistance to that status.
Yeah, looks like it's just he's just gonna, let's see what the glance does.
Okay, still makes it through. It's only physical attack still, so having that back wristed was not too dangerous.
Nope, and gets the Luca key there as Rivers is heading down Ordeals, which means I guess he's gonna. The only thing I can think of that's open is that hook route.
Yep, so he's gonna head over there. May do those Mad Ogres for some experience, try to get Berserk and Quake, or at least Virus on Palom. I guess he did take one or two random encounters coming down the mountain. It might have been just to set up a bit of a slingshot on Palom, I'm not exactly sure. So for the slingshot, any character who is 5 levels behind the median of your party gets doubled experience. So doing that, setting Palom at a slightly lower level relative to the others will get him a larger boost from doing those Mad Ogres.
Right, and looks like the only thing in the Agard item shop is a Sylph summon, so if you find Iridia, that may come in handy, but by the time we find her, maybe too late for that to be too useful.
So the boss in the ruby spot was Leviathan. That shouldn't be too much trouble with a few levels here. Can hit lightning weakness with both Palom and Yang. And if we have Berserk, then Yang can do a lot of damage there.
Right, also, looks like Rivers isn't really checking that many chests, so...
Yeah, so he's not even going for those levels here with the Mad Ogre. So I guess just getting enough levels on Mount Ordeals, he'll rely on Yang and just Lit 2 rather than Virus or Quake. Not sure whether he actually got Berserk on Rosa. I would think that's a pretty big deal if he doesn't have that.
Yep, but for now it just looks like he's heading down the giant. He's gonna probably save here before he fights whichever boss is in the King Queen Eblon spot. And he quickly equipped and unequipped the Dwarf Axe. If I remember correctly, the Dwarf Axe also causes the back row glitch.
Yep, that is correct. So Rosa's only at level 18, so no Berserk yet. I believe that's level 20 for her. Rivers does put the curse ring on Edward in the middle slot, so that's using what we call agility anchoring, making your middle character slower, effectively makes your other characters faster. And it works especially well against enemy spots with high agilities like these two.
And there's a Mist Dragon hiding here in Upper Babel.
So the Mist Dragon is extra important for Enterprise because it gives you an extra key item when you go visit the Village of Mist and talk to Iridia's mother. But being here, they'll probably just finish going through the fights before going back there.
And Mist Dragon hitting really hard at this spot, taking down both Rosa and Young in one hit each.
I guess Rivers did get enough levels on Ordeals to get Palom to Virus, so that will help out a bit here. Mist not too dangerous, even though it does hit hard. It only does 3 attacks at a time before going to that Mist form, so you have time to get set back up and revive your characters. So on Fleury's side, I guess he did go back and do some shopping, picked up those vampires as well. So he got through Valvalus, should get through Kignaz without too much trouble as well.
All right, and Rivers getting through the Mist Dragon with just Sid alive, which is good because he does get a full heal here before he fights Leviathan.
And confidence from Rivers, no saving between the fights.
Yeah, that's pretty confident there. I guess he realizes with Palom and Sid and Yang, he probably has the power to get through with light.
So the big wave always does 25% of a character's max HP. So as long as you heal, that can't kill you. The Ice 2s in between, I think, won't hit too hard here. And I think there's a Dragoon Glove or something on Sid that gives him some resistances. Faerie is still not doing all that much even with the weakness. It's only a double weakness as opposed to a quadruple weakness of some enemies. So not doing quite that much damage in this case.
Yeah, just only hitting for 1 damage and taking an opportunity here just to heal up a little bit.
Fortunately, Ice 2 still enough to take out Palom in 1 hit. Palom probably doesn't have too much magic resistance, and of course not that much max HP either.
All right, still trying to keep Palom alive so he can throw out some magic at Leviathan, and Fleury's through the Kignazzo fight and gonna go head inside and fight his karate.
So I'm guessing Fleury will opt to fight those Mad Ogres for some levels. So if he does that and gets Berserk, thinking he might be able to make up some time on this Leviathan, although he'll still be playing for a few minutes behind with Rivers already in this fight.
Right.
And as you can see, Leviathan's not doing damage all that quickly here. So Rivers can probably get through this, but it's going to take a while. He's not doing all that much damage either. And although running out of Cure 2s may be an issue.
Yep, he's slowly but surely whittling away at that Leviathan's hit points. While Leviathan apparently does not like Palom very much and keeps attacking with those Ice 2.
I'm not sure if Rivers has another stack of Cure 2s. That looks like his last one.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised to see him take a reset out of here. And maybe try to find that Mad Ogre chest.
And remember, he did not save after the Mist Dragon, so he'll have to do that again if he does have to reset. I guess Rivers did not actually pick up the Thunderclaw, so he's a little bit short on that end as well, with Yang only able to do regular damage.
But still, Palom getting those viruses off and just doing some damage. Hopefully get through it. Rosa working hard, trying to keep everybody alive until now.
Yeah, so out of Cure 2s has to rely on Rosa for curing. So super important to keep her up. And Palom's starting to run out of MP, so throwing ethers on him. Really starting to strain River's resources at this point. We'll see if he actually has enough to survive. Oh, he does have second stack of Cure 2s. He probably wasn't sure. He's probably happy to find that sitting in his inventory.
Right, yep, and Fleury's just doing some quick shopping in Mysidia, and probably going to be heading down to the hook route here in just a minute.
Ooh, looks like River's accidentally threw the life on Palom instead of Rosa, so a bit of a wasted turn there.
And using some of those Cure 3s he bought earlier to keep Young and Sid at max HP, getting Rosa back up, and hopefully going to start throwing some more viruses at Leviathan here after getting Palom and Rosa back up.
Yeah, well, getting them up just in time for them to get hit by a wave, so it's going to have to light them up again.
And looks like Fleury is coming up through the Eblon Cave, heading towards these two boss fights.
So Rivers realized that Leviathan is only targeting Palom, so putting up that Star Veil to keep him safe from the Ice 2s.
Yeah, this Leviathan does not like Palom whatsoever.
So having that wall up on Palom does mean he has to throw the Cure 2 item versus using Cure 2 spell. But overall, it's probably going to make things easier, not having those Ice 2s hitting him.
Yep, and just, this Palom staying alive a little bit longer helps keep those viruses going.
The virus is really the main damage here, doing 2,000 per hit versus, I think, 500 on Sid is the next best.
And looks like Fleury is going to be taking that Mad Ogre fight. Went ahead and opened up that chest and is pulling out the coffins.
Yeah, so the coffins are nice here. I think he also has some charm arrows, yeah, so that's also a good way to kill those, getting a quadruple bonus against these ogre enemies. Although he didn't life the first one, so I don't know if he'll get as much experience as he wants.
And Rivers makes it through that Leviathan fight.
Fleury might actually be worried he doesn't have enough lives, so foregoing the life glitch here.
Yep, just trying to get everybody alive, get them their levels for the fights up ahead.
So River's peeking at the boss at the top of Babel, so it looks like a purple robe, so either Mylon or Mylon Z. I don't think we've seen either one yet to narrow it down.
And Palom getting that stop off on that last Mad Ogre. Oh, I should probably just in time so they can get Fleury can get some of the other members of his party back up.
Yeah, so I guess Fleury never found licensed shop, so he's just down to 2. So he could be in for some trouble on this Leviathan as well if he doesn't take it down quick enough.
Yeah, and he just learned Virus on Palom.
And also level 18 on Rosa for him, so no Berserk there either.
And Rivers, he's in Mist. He's going to check out what gets from that Mist Dragon kill. And we find the Twin Harp, so I think we might see some music in our future.
Yeah, so even though we got Underground, we don't have a whole lot of things we can do there just yet. Might see a Dwarf Castle attempt, get some experience, and maybe a stronger character there.
Yeah, looks like that. He's going to head down to Tomra first, check out the item shop down there. I'm thinking he might dip into Faerie March, get that one free key item there, and just see which two bosses there, see if he needs to kill either one of them.
And with the pan as one of the required objectives, we might see an extra delay on checking Sylph just to try to avoid double dipping that.
And River's going in, validating the seed by finding the budget accountant.
Never knew there were so many different types of accountants until I played Free Enterprise.
All right, Fleury's made it to the last room of Upper Babel, to where the Mist Dragon is. And he's resetting out.
So may just want to reconfigure his party, seeing what the boss is there. Palom in the middle, maybe he wants a Curse Ring Anchor instead. Palom will probably be the best damage here with Virus.
Yep, going through the inventory, seeing if there's anything better to equip on Palom. And inside the Dwarf Castle, Rivers has found the Sisters.
This actually could be a rather rough fight. Not having Quake yet to take care of them. Or, well, he might have Quake, I'm not sure.
I think he got Quake. Yeah, I think he got Quake when he beat Leviathan. Looks like he's trying to, yep, there it is. And Rosa has Berserk.
Yeah, so Quake will do very well here. Able to do multi-target damage with no reduction, and also able to bypass the wall. Although the magic here, as we see, is rather high, and if this fight's as smart as Leviathan, then it'll be rather hard to get Quakes off.
Alright, you got that Berserk up on Sid. Let's see, hopefully that Palom can stay alive and get that Quake off.
Fleury actually taking random encounters before that Mist Dragon fight. Maybe hoping to get Quake before he does those. Maybe just going for Berserk.
Possibly, and apparently the Sisters have also received the memo that it is beat up on Palom Day.
Can't blame them. Palom is definitely the biggest threat in that fight. I don't think Rivers found any mage killing weapons to do bonus damage with Sid or Rosa. Alright, finally getting a Quake off that should take out all the Sisters, or at least the weaker two.
Yep, leaving Cindy is the only one left, and Sid and Young are probably just going to beat up on her, and there she goes.
Alright, so Fleury got Rosa up to level 20, so now has Berserk. That may be enough for him. I think the Berserk's going to help more in the Leviathan than the Mist Dragon. Berserk on Mist Dragon can be dangerous because you don't really want to attack during that Mist form.
Yep, and well, we found our duplicate character for this seed because there was another Yang inside the Dwarf Castle, and they're going to be fighting the Pain Man here.
Pain Man in this spot doesn't do too much damage, so especially having those high HP characters in Yang and Sid, it's not really an issue here. And just lifing Palom up at the end to make sure he gets a little extra experience.
Right, yep, just right after the third Dark Wave. Getting Palom up, gets the experience.
Fleury fighting this Mist Dragon, playing it extra safe, knowing that he's short on life, so throwing up that illusion on Rosa to make sure she won't get taken out.
And using Virus with Palom, seeing as how that's still going to be his strongest attack until he gets Quake.
Sid going down could be an issue, as Sid was definitely the second strongest with that Ogre Axe.
And the reward for completing the Dwarf Castle is a Protect Ring, so not much value there.
Definitely nice to have that early, though, providing very strong defense. Maybe help Palom out, keep him from dying constantly, as we've seen the past few fights.
Yeah, especially again if a memo went out saying that it's target Palom Day. And River's doing some shopping here in the Dwarf Castle, maybe emptying out some of his inventory.
Crystal armor, selling that for a bunch of gold, so should have plenty of money to buy things out. Alright, so Fleury got Blink up on Palom as well and bluffed during the Mist form, so he should be okay here. We'll probably see a save after this fight.
Probably, and River's heading down to the Sylph Cave. Probably, maybe going to check Sheila 1 after that. I would guess, though, he'd probably head down into the Faerie March, though, before he leaves the Underground. At least get that free key item check and the boss check.
Yeah, he may be opting for Sylph first, so then he can go to Faerie March as well, and then cure up afterwards if he needs to for those bosses, and not have to do a double heal from the poison tiles. Dropping a save in the Underground, so probably going to check Sheila first, and then reset back down there if Sheila gives nothing interesting.
All right, Fleury's fighting Leviathan now. Again, the wave's just doing that 25% of max HP, getting Berserk off on Yang. And I believe Fleury does have a Thunderclaw, so that's going to help make this fight probably go just a little bit quick.
Yeah, as long as you can keep Yang alive, this should go pretty quickly. Not having the life, though, this could get dangerous. Almost like to see a Star Veil early on here from Fleury, just to reduce the amount of lives he needs.
Especially if this Leviathan is just like the Leviathan Rivers had to fight, where it's just going to keep targeting Palom. And I didn't quite catch what the item was at Sheila 1, but Rivers didn't reset out of it.
Looks like Darkness Crystal, judging by the tracker. So Rivers may head up there to check the character at least.
And that Thunderclaw making a difference for Fleury. Instead of hitting for about 250, he's hitting for almost 900 with each hit on Yang.
Yeah, I think he also has a Poison Claw for extra strength and probably a few more levels than Rivers had. And Thunderclaw itself gives double damage hitting that weakness.
Yep, and throwing a Silk Web up there, hopefully give him some more time. Hopefully can get Palom back up so he can keep throwing out those 1500 virus.
He might actually just not bother with Palom, only having a couple lives in his inventory. Because if Palom gets knocked down again, then it's going to take another life. He does have the option to use life spells with Rosa, but if he does that, he's not curing the rest of his party, so it's a bit of a trade-off. And I think he just missed the life cast on Palom. That's a thing that can happen sometimes.
Yeah, so he had Sid ready to use that cure too. However, just decided just to keep just hitting the big nope rope there.
Okay, actually using a life potion on Pelham now.
Okay. And finding Ether 2s in the Hummingway shop there on the moon, so that's some good value there. Probably gonna go check out that free character now. And I wonder if he's gonna take like the minute to dip in Bahamut Cave, see what that boss is.
I would not be surprised to see a check there with the Lugae still a required boss out there. It's actually a pretty weak virus from Palom here. Wonder if he has less equipment than Rivers had.
Right, and we find the old man on the moon.
So having already done our deals, Tella has weak, so that does set up options for things like Demon Machine grinds. Although not sure this is the best time to do that necessarily with the current party.
No, I'm wondering he's maybe thinking about trading, especially with that Excalibur in his inventory. If he can find a Cecil somewhere relatively soon.
Yeah, no other character checks easily available right now, though.
No, and he is he is dipping into the Bahamut Cave. Just gonna check out that boss.
Pretty unlikely we actually see a fight, but probably just gathering information.
No,
Blue
that
rogue.
Yeah, that could be one of two things, but he is choosing to use exit and get out of there.
A little surprised he didn't actually check it to see which one it was. And Flurry does make it past that Leviathan, so he's now underground as well.
And Flurry going down to Lower Babel now to get his airship.
So Flurry probably feels a little behind with how much he had to struggle against those bosses and having to do that extra grinding. So we might see him route a little bit more aggressively, try to make things up with some gambles.
Right, and Rivers is now heading down into the Faerie March to check out those items and bosses.
Ooh, Sand Ruby for free in the Town of Summon, so that's an edge pickup. So
Right.
that should help out a lot here.
And Rivers holding on to that self summon in his inventory just in case Riddy is an easy find, but I don't think it's gonna. There's no good character checks at the moment since they don't have the Earth Crystal.
Rivers finds a Thunderclaw in that chest. A little bit too late for that Leviathan, but still a couple Thunder Weak bosses, I think, out there. Octomom and Dr. Lugae is not actually Thunder Weak, but weak to that the Thunderclaw still, from being a robot.
Yep, and speaking of Octomom, right here in the Leviathan spot, and also the Dark Elf standing right next to it.
Yeah, those are actually both doable at this point. I don't know if they're the best options, although we don't have too many other choices. So it looks like Rivers is gearing up to fight them. Almost think it'd be worth picking up the Edge and coming back here, though. Edge, of course, can also use that Thunderclaw.
Right, yep, and he does, he's going to be about an equivalent level to where Rivers is at right now, so that probably will help just a little bit with those boss fights. And Zilch6 in the chat's wondering if either of them can go for a keyless tower check right now, just to do a quick check on the top, since they both check the boss. It's either Mylon or Mylon.
So River's doing the Octomom fight first. This is a little bit dangerous to start out with. Octomom pretty fast and hitting really hard in this spot with those physicals, but once you take out those tentacles, then Octomom slows down a lot and it becomes much more manageable.
Right, getting Berserk up on, I think it was Sid really quickly, or Yang, and yep, he's hitting for 1600 with the Thunderclaw now equipped, and so is Octomom.
Being just physical, having those blinks available from Rosa and Tella will help a lot as well.
And River's now trying to get his other casters back up, while Young is still beating up on that poor octopus, and Octomom hit Tella for just over 2,000 there in one hit. And Fleury's going in, he's going to fight the Magus sisters and pick up Yang's twin brother.
Yep, so Fleury following in almost exactly the same path as Rivers. I'm not sure if Fleury went back for the Mist Dragon or not. Or the Mist item, I mean.
He does have the Twin Harp in his inventory, so I believe he did go back and check that item.
River seems to want to avoid that. It's a fairly slow check at this point compared to other options. So could be interesting if Fleury opts to go for that as a bit of a gamble.
And Octomom down to one tentacle now, so it should be going pretty slow now, and Yang's just going to beat him up.
Yeah, actually not even needing to bother casting spells with Palom, because the animation are just slower than the Berserk, so it's faster to just let Yang finish things off.
Yeah, don't tease the poor octopus, kids.
I wonder if Rivers will go for that Dark Elf next. Doesn't have the best damage for it, but only has to do about 1,000 damage, and then Tella can use Weak on the Dark Dragon for him to take it out quickly.
Right, and his reward for beating Octomom is an Avenger Sword.
So that's a very powerful item, but only usable by Cecil and Kane, neither of which we've seen just yet in this seed.
And yep, looks like he's healing up. He's gonna go ahead and take on that Dark Elf next. And while he's fighting the Pain Man here, and we're gonna see the Dark Elf. I just want to tell everybody that the Fabul Gauntlet is our first ever 1v1 free enterprise tournament. We're still in the Swiss rounds. Whoever wins this particular race will be guaranteed a spot in the bracket round with at least having 4 wins, and the other one will hopefully be able to get into the play-in round that will take place in about 2 weeks.
So just want to point out, Fleury did pick up that second Yang. Respect for that. Double Yang is always fun. Probably he'll just leave that Yang at low level until maybe gets to the moon and can slingshot him to higher levels.
What I was going for there, Rivers is beating up on that Dark Elf.
probably a Berserk on Sid this time. Not having the weakness that Yang can exploit makes Sid a lot better in this scenario.
And looks like with Tella, he's holding off now to see if maybe he's going to change forms pretty soon.
Rivers with the calculation, jumping to that magic menu preemptively to cast weak at just the right time.
And it looks like he's going to throw an hourglass on the Dark Elf as well.
Yeah, I guess just for some extra safety, make sure he can get the kill off before the Dark Elf starts attacking too much and does the Dragon Breath.
All right, and Rivers through that Dark Elf fight.
And the tower key, so Rivers will probably head up to that tower next. Having that available means the tower's overall a very efficient play.
Yeah, so much for doing keyless tower if you get the tower key.
Actually peeking into Sealed Cave first.
You know what? I actually do kind of like this play a little bit because if it's not something you need, if it's not the pan or the Baron key, you can just reset right out and then go check the tower.
May also be a case of he figures Fleury is probably less likely to have done that Dark Elf fight, so not prioritizing that tower key as much.
And it looks like Fleury there was just caught up in some Chocobo traffic there as he's heading towards the save point.
Respect for Rivers running around with the pig sprite.
And Fleury's in the King and Queen room in the Faerie March, and he's thinking it over. And he's exiting out.
Yeah, he's less enthused about that particular fight. He may pick up the edge and come back, we'll see, or he might opt for some other checks first.
Well, and it's a good thing Rivers did check the Sealed Cave because that is required as he picks up the pan in the crystal room.
So he does still have to make it out. This is certainly not the easiest fight in the world. And is this even randomized?
I thought we rolled I thought this was supposed to be randomized. Although probably Evil Wall at his vanilla spot, probably not the worst thing you could see here because he can just beat up on it hopefully quickly enough before it gets too far.
It is very fast here, so you don't have all that much time. But Rivers is able to do pretty good damage for that Quake and with Berserks, so he should be able to get through this. May need to blink his characters, but shouldn't have too much trouble.
Yeah, it looks like he's got blink up on Sid, and Sid's Berserk, so he's just going to be beating up on that poor wall.
Fleury goes back for that edge, trades out his second Yang. Yeah, with edge and Yang, it's pretty hard to manage to find enough claws to go around, so understandable dropping that second Yang at that point.
Yeah, especially since he hadn't leveled them yet, so I'm wondering if at this point he's just going to head back into the underground and take on the King and Queen's.
imagine Fleury will go looking for those lives in shops to refill on those before doing any more fights.
Right, and Rivers beats up on the wall, gets some levels on its characters, and more importantly, can now leave with the pan.
So with that pan, all Rivers is looking for is a Baron Key and Dr. Lugue. So he may actually not go to that tower depending on what shows up here.
Right, or at least he may only go halfway up to just check the boss in the cannon room. And Fleury getting the Darkness Crystal from Sheila 1. So we'll see if he heads up to the moon next, to check the character up there and the shop and the Bahamut Cave.
River's almost definitely going to go ahead and turn in that pan right away.
Yeah, no reason not to.
If that does pop out a Baron Key, then Rivers will be very close to go mode and may end up just checking moon bosses.
And once he finds that Dr. Lugue, he'll be set up to, since he still has Tella in his party, I believe, he'll be set up to do a D machine grind to get his levels up.
So with Sirens available, they may actually not bother with the D machines and just go for the eggs or the gold dragons on the moon. Alright, and a bonus Excalibur given by the Sylphs. So extra incentive to pick up that edge. He has actually 3 strong items to throw, so that's going to take out moon bosses pretty quickly, or wherever he decides to use those.
Yep, and he's going to go turn in that pan to complete that objective. And we will see if it's the Baron Key or not.
Alright, just a Zeus Gauntlet, but still the objective completed. And the Zeus Gauntlet gives a large strength bonus as well as a strong defense boost for one of the physical fighters. So definitely a nice pickup to have.
Right, so wondering at this point, where is Rivers going to go? Is he going to check music, or is he going to just go start checking moon bosses?
I highly doubt the music check. It's just way too slow at this point. I think Tower Key, or the whole tower as a whole, might be a better option, because that's pretty quick, about 2 minutes on average per check, 4 for the whole thing.
Yep, and it looks like he's listening to you, and he's getting ready to head on in there.
Yeah, he's also still at, I think, 8 key items, so he may be hoping to pick up 2 more before he's forced to go into the moon, so he gets double experience from those bosses.
Right, yep, and Fleury's heading down into the lunar subterrane. Guess he's gonna check a couple altars here.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a gamble. Probably Fleury's feeling behind and trying to make a little bit more of a bold play to try to catch up. Knowing that the pan is in that sealed cave, it doesn't look all that great for Fleury, but if he does manage to find those remaining objectives pretty quickly, it could work out for him.
Right, yeah, if you find the Baron Key or even Dr. Lugue. Rivers is going to head straight to the tower, top of the tower, take on whichever form of Mylon that is.
Yeah, either way shouldn't be too difficult. Mylon plus the zombies is a little bit annoying just because there's a lot of HP, and every time you attack him, he's going to counter with the lit one, and it's going to take a long time.
All right, Fleury's dropping into the save point here. He's probably going to check that the D lunar altar first. I'm going to go ahead and guess.
Oh, he psyched you out. Went for the plague spot first.
And there's the other Mylon, so we almost had dueling Mylons, but alas we do not, because he reset out of that and he's going to go probably check the D-Lunar spot.
River's fighting Mylon Z just short of Fire 3 on Palom. A little bit unfortunate, but Earth Hammer on Sid is also Fire Elemental, so berserking him will do a lot of damage. Right, and
Fleury found that Plague went to the wrong office this morning and was just right next door in the D-Lunar spot.
Yeah, you know, those doors look very similar. Sometimes you go into the wrong apartment.
Yep, it happens every now and then.
So with that curse ring, Plague should be doable. Just berserk some of his characters, and they actually shouldn't ever die for the count. He uses the curse ring properly.
And it looks like that's what he's going to do, because he's heading right back in there.
I don't think Fleury has any boomerangs. Those would be a little bit helpful, as they do double damage against Plague.
Yep, and Kamikaze Rosa here, and then probably going to bring her right back up as soon as Plague does the count.
Looks like we're actually seeing the Starville strategy. So going to reflect the count back onto Plague, and then have Plague kill himself essentially with the count spell. Didn't quite catch what the tower item is for Rivers that he just picked up, but looks like not a key item judging by the tracker.
Yeah, judged by the tracker, it's not a key item, but find CPU hiding in the super cannon room.
Yeah, so that's nice to find that here. CPU is a very annoying boss at high HP spots, but here a simple Quake will take everything out easily.
And there it is from Palom, and there they go.
Oh, so it actually was a pass from the Luge spot, so that's a bit of savings for Rivers having that in its pocket.
Right, that means as if he can find the Baron Key and Dr. Luge here on the overworld or somewhere else, he won't have to actually go back to the moon. And Fleury's still working on Plague there. Looks like he lost the wall on Palom at some point, so getting that count on all three characters.
Yeah, that's actually intentional with this strategy, because if the wall is still up, then Plague will keep refreshing his own count. So you do have to actually kill off the character with the wall. But maybe he didn't have enough Silk Webs. You do have to slow Plague down a bit to make sure the count actually wears off on him.
Yeah, it's throwing slows on Plague with Rosa just about every turn as Rivers is exiting the tower. We'll see what key item he gets on the life ship, on the airship.
And that is a rat tail, so one key item away now from that 10 key item double experience bonus, and another easy check with that rat tail.
Yep, and that's exactly what Rivers is doing, picking up his hovercraft and heading over towards the rat tail cave.
And Earth Crystal from the rat tail, so River's now at 10 key items. He may decide to go to the moon now with that double experience bonus. Earth Crystal's not the most enticing check, although the possibility of Cecil may be appealing still.
Right, that's what I was thinking, and well, it looks like we're in agreement on that, because it looks like he's going to head up to Zot, and then worst comes worst, he can probably just reset right out if he's either character and doesn't want either of them.
Actually going towards Magnus Cave. So I guess going for that efficiency of checking this region of the world altogether.
And he wants to hear music. I'm going to say that.
Alright, so Fleury did finish that plague fight, picked up a pink tail for his troubles. Unfortunately, it's probably too much trouble to exit out and turn that in for a while.
Yeah, especially since he has not found the rat tail yet.
So Fleury probably gearing up for that Mylon fight at the plague spot. So again,
Yep.
not too dangerous with just the lit ones, but pretty annoying with all this HP to get through.
Right, and Rivers is heading into the crystal room here in Cave Magnus. So we're gonna find out what music DJ Spoony B has a setup for us this afternoon.
A quick little self-virus with Palom just to end that first fight faster. Just have to make sure all your characters are dead or magnetized. Alright, so River's finishing off that Mom Bomb fight. Nice that we get the Mom Bomb for some extra time on the music track with the transform.
That's right. As Fleury's working, he's got the gas is down. He's just working on Mylon now, and those lightning ones are hitting a little bit harder than I expect them to.
And just a Legend Sword for Rivers for completing that music check. So not feeling too happy about that for him. Resetting back out and gonna head up Zot.
I mean, yeah, what can you turn that Legend Sword into? Another Excalibur?
And Fleury finishing off that Mylon fight. Just Artemis arrows. Those could come in handy for some grinding up here on those gold dragons with the dragon bonus.
So I'm wondering if at this point, is Fleury going to go down and check the Ogopogo spot?
Yeah, probably will. He hasn't really found his value yet, and he's pretty committed to this moon play.
Over. And he's being indecisive, apparently. All right, he's going downstairs now. He's going to check out that Ogopogo spot and hope for something not too bad down there, and hopefully a Baron.
Yeah, he might have been thinking about doing some grinding first. This is one of the toughest spots in the game here.
Rivers has found Baigen in Tower of Zot.
Yeah, at this point, not too much trouble. Just a few quakes will take out Baigen here.
And we have the elements at the Ogopogo spot. And it looks like he's gonna give it a try.
Yeah, shouldn't actually be too hard here with Palom and Rosa fairly high level. They can reflect spells and keep the elements in that Mylon Z form and not have to deal the full amount of HP as long as you only reflect spells.
Yeah, especially if Fire 3 is going to be doing straight 9s in damage across the board, being reflected off of Rosa.
So we're still looking for both Baron Key and the Dr. Luge fight. So if those do turn up for Fleury on the Moon, he could still be in a pretty good spot with Rivers doing these slower checks on the overworld still.
Right, yep, and we found Rydia in Zot. That's the first character we're finding there.
It'd be interesting if Rivers decides to take it. Probably not, although with the current setup, he does have options to slingshot her and to get her up to nuke pretty quickly. And never mind, there's the Cecil. He's almost definitely taking that with the Excalibur available.
Right, yeah. So we'll see what he does here as they join the party and see if which boss he'll find in this.
Yeah, probably a goodbye to Sid. Outliving its usefulness, Cecil is a very much an upgrade with Excalibur.
Yeah, especially he's got that Zeus Gauntlet, he's got Excalibur. Some good items for him to equip right off the bat here.
And just a Magma Key for Fleury from taking out those elements. So not something that he needs, but getting closer. He might actually have this out 10 KMs or not quite yet. I think he's still a couple short.
Yeah, he's still at 8 according to the tracker. And the second boss in Zod is Ogopogo. Speaking of nope ropes.
Yeah, opting to Berserk here. Ogo counters any spells, so you don't want to rely on Palom too much. Although only 6,000 HP means it shouldn't be too dangerous.
And looks like Rivers is setting up to slingshot Cecil up because he just cast Virus on him with Palom.
Yeah, so good plan there. So not too much experience available here, but he'll probably head to the Moon next. And if he goes to, say, the D-Learner spot, he can get 400 experience right off the bat for Cecil. So get Cecil online in a big way.
Yep, and Ogopogo's down, and we'll see what key item he gets for completing Zod.
Fleury, meanwhile, making it up to the Wyvern spot and finding a Bahamut, so not too difficult. Probably just going to pop some Star Veils and let
just
Bahamut take care of himself.
Right, and Dragon, again, just finding the wrong office this morning.
Oh, and Rivers guesses right yet again. Baron Key as the Zot reward. So that is required just to unlock the sewer. We'll see if Rivers actually checks the bosses as well or not.
Right, and I'm wondering at this point, is he gonna complete the castle just to see the 2 bosses that are inside? I'm thinking he's going to, once he gets past, I don't remember which boss is in the Baigen spot from the beginning of the game.
The first boss was the Baron Guards.
See, I can see him going, just trying to get through them quickly just to check the other 2 bosses.
I think in terms of raw time, it's faster to just go and start peeking moon bosses, but looks like Rivers is going to go ahead and commit to this.
Wondering if at this point if Dr. Luge is inside the giant, since neither of them have checked the giant at all.
Yeah, that certainly is a possibility, and there's also, of course, the famed package boss that could be hiding the objective.
Yep, and Fleury finishing off Bahamut there, and Edge is probably very happy to find Murasame.
Yeah. Fleury, on the other hand, not quite as happy because he's invested a lot of time on this moon and not found any required or progression items.
Yep, I think he's probably just going to go right back in, check that last boss right there at the top. Again, same thing, Palom just casting Virus on that Cecil just so he can, probably didn't sleep well last night, so he's going to take a nap.
Yeah, still just setting up that slingshot wherever it will end up happening.
And using his coffins on these guards, since they do not have the boss bit, they're gone and out of the way. And Fleury, he's made it to the, I believe that's the pale dim spot, and he's going to check that box. And it's the dark imp, so no value on the moon.
So Fleur actually did not keep that Tella. I wonder if he wishes he did here, because if he had Tella with life 2, he could actually grind these a bit. Although not having the double experience, it's not quite as helpful.
Right, and it looks like the D-Lunars have taken over Baron, and, well, it looks like Rivers has taken the air, though.
So just another strong piece of equipment with the power shirt for Fleury. And he may be out of exits, because it looks like he's actually walking out.
Yep, and we found the other old man in Baron Castle. And it looks like Rivers is swapping him out for swapping Tella out for the other old man.
Yeah, with Husoya and with the Excalibur Cecil, Rivers really doesn't need all that many levels. So probably just one fight to slingshot Cecil and he'll be ready for Zeronis. So Fleury's gonna head to Bahamut Cave now. I think we're still not quite sure if that's a Water Hag or a Fabul Gauntlet.
Right, that's the only thing only thing we know is it's not something they're looking for. All right, Rivers heading downstairs, gonna check the Odin spot. Probably if it's Dr. Luge. Don't know how difficult that's gonna be.
Probably not too hard. It's only about a little under 20,000 HP, I think. So getting that split between all the different Luge forms means it's not too much trouble. But Antlion instead, Rivers resets right away because he knows he just needs to find one more boss.
Right. I'm trying to think of other spots we've checked. I'm thinking Luge has to be in the giant.
Giant or package, I think.
Right,
So
and
Rivers doesn't know about the moon bosses yet, so he'll probably just run up there, do what I like to call window shopping, just check each boss and reset if it's not what he's looking for.
right, and it is Water Hag at the Bahamut spot, so Fleur is going to get through that, and we're going to see what the key item is and check his. As the Water Hag decides he's just going to beat up on the party. And Rivers, yeah, he's gonna go be checking, gonna do some window shopping on the move.
It'll be interesting if Rivers actually decides to grind with these Dark Imps a bit. Get that slingshot on Cecil.
Right, and we have the package at the Bahamut spot. So if you're Fleury, is that going to be the next thing you check?
Probably not, because he still has Baron Key and Pan that he needs to find.
And he still doesn't have the Earth Crystal. I'm trying to remember where we found the Earth Crystal at.
I believe that was from the Tower Key, which was from the Dark Elf at Asura. So a few checks to go through to get there.
Right. So looks like he's heading back to the overworld. We'll see where he goes next, as Rivers is taking this fight against the Dark Elves right now. I wonder if he's going to use this as his grind real quick, since he does have his 10 key items.
Yeah, it looks like nothing too fancy with Life 2. It's just a regular kill them off and throw a single life potion. And base experience is, I think, I want to say 60,000 or so. But with the life, you can double that up. And oh, we do see some Life 2s. So Life 2 actually fully revives the Dark Imps, so he can indefinitely revive them and keep farming them. So I think he's actually ended up getting six Dark Imps worth of experience instead of the 3. So that's, I think, 8 times experience on Cecil, basically. So like 500,000.
Yep, it was a lot. That was a big number. We'll see how many levels he gets here. 40. He gets 40 levels.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice for Rivers that was the fight that was nice for grinding, because that spot, there's no nearby save point. So if he wants to do the resetting out, it's less convenient on that spot versus the others.
It looks like he's going to keep heading on downstairs, check those other moon spots. So at this point, you think he's just going to be window shot?
Yeah, there's no real point in fighting the other bosses other than hoping for a package. So I think the best place just to check the bosses and get out.
And Fleury, he's going to go ahead and fight the Dark Elf and hopefully start going down the rabbit hole that will lead him to the Earth Crystal as well as the Bearing.
Okay, just to clarify for chat, the Life 2 on the Dark Imps, instead of just the regular life glitch where you instantly get 1 revive, then the Life 2 fully revives the Dark Imp so you can kill it a second time. And if you wanted to, you could keep chaining Life 2s to get basically infinite experience, but Rivers didn't need all that much.
And for Gambit in the chat, I believe so. The only things we really haven't checked are the Giant or the package. And Fleury is the only one with the package right now.
Yeah, so Fleury did actually happen to check the right spot for finding that Baron Key, so if he Galaxy Brains this, he could still catch up. And if he chases this hard and then just grabs that pan. So it's still anyone's game at this point, although Rivers definitely looking in the stronger position.
Right, he's going into the D-Lunar spot with the out-of-place plague. And he's resetting right out of it. So I'm wondering at this point if what personally I'm hoping for is Fabul Gauntlet at Elements and then Luge in the CPU spot.
That would be very cruel.
I think that's the trolliest thing that can happen to Rivers right now. I believe the only spot he has left to check is the Wyvern spot.
Mm-hmm. So he'll probably go to the Giant after this.
Yep, up here he'll probably just check the substitute dragon and reset right out and probably exit at that point.
Yeah, so worth noting, Rivers has actually found all the progression items, so there are no true chains left. Only the package is a pseudo chain gating a boss at this point. So it's fairly safe to reset, although if package does happen to have that Luge, then it may slightly bite him, although we know it's at Bahamut Cave, which is actually an easier check to come back to.
Right now, it looks like he actually is fighting this Bahamut here.
Yeah, I guess just going for the easier fights, or quicker, I guess is the more operative word here for Rivers. Dangerous, not really a factor in any of these fights.
Right, and hoping for maybe the package to be on one of these quicker bosses.
Yeah, and nice to have a little more experience. Cecil is in a little bit of danger of dying to Big Bang at his current HP value. Although if Cecil doesn't get a Starveil, he's going to die to make nukes.
Right, and Cecil's back up and he's already berserked again, so it looks like Rivers is planning for that to happen.
And Fleury did go and kill off that Octomom as well. Bit of a faster fight for him, having higher levels, Thunderclaw and Yang, and just regular swords for Edge, but Edge pretty strong as well.
Right, and I don't blame him for that. I mean, he does get the Avenger sword out of it, but he's still looking for a Baron key and a Pan as well.
And I think Fleury is regretting dropping that Tela, because he's had to walk out of a lot of places that he would have liked to exit out of. Rose, of course, does not actually get exit until you complete Zot, so no exits for him right now.
And yep, Rivers is heading to the Giant. And Fleury, he's going to go ahead and do his tower check now that he has the tower key. Check both items there, and get the rat tail, I believe, is what's going to be the key item from the cannon.
So Rivers did actually peek the Bahamut boss earlier, so he knows it's not Luge. You saw the blue robe and reset out earlier, or exited out. Alright, so Fleury is in that Tower of Babel. Let's see if he goes for that half tower play, and well, with the path to the top, I guess it evens out more or less. It's probably actually faster to do the full tower.
Right, especially, yeah, with that pass up top, even though he doesn't know it's there. But it looks like he's going to check the cannon first, and then we'll see if he keeps going upstairs as Rivers is making his way through the Giant. Probably take a quick save, then head to the element spot and hope that it's Luke. I'm hoping that it's the Fabul Gauntlet.
Aw, King and Queen of Elements. That's no fun.
You hate to see a free fight at Elements, but yes, gets a pass on this one.
So lots of HP here, so not worth trying to take them down. Just waiting out their script. The King and Queen cast a few fire spells, and then they'll end the fight by themselves.
Yep, so you just got to make it through this script. He's got the levels for it. The Fire 1s and Fire 2s don't do too much damage, even to Palom.
All right, so Fleury is going to go ahead and complete the tower, so probably going to work out in his favor, picking up that pass in the end. And not too long of a fight with Mylons either.
Right, he should get through this Mylon Z fight pretty quickly, and we're going to see if Rivers is going to have to take a trip to the moon again, because he's going to be hunting for key items, because I think the only boss he hasn't checked after CPU would be the pack.
I feel like Rivers didn't really need to save. I don't think Luge is actually that dangerous, and if it's not Luge, then he's just resetting anyway.
And there he goes. Yep, that was a nope dragon.
All right, so Rivers is now on the hunt. Looks like he kept a save down at the bottom of the lunar core, which is pretty smart, but actually not going to work out for Rivers because we know he needs to go back to the top with Bahamut Cave. So Rivers did actually check Twin Harp already, so I believe Package is the only boss we have not seen. So Package must be Luge, so Fleury is actually maybe in a good spot having that package already.
Yes, especially if Rivers decides he needs to kill all these boss spots here on the moon just to check them for key items.
And even though this is the Fabul Gauntlet tournament, there is no Fabul Gauntlet this seed. I believe that is the one missing boss.
I believe so as well, because I was really hoping for it in a particularly bad, nasty spot. I'm just being mean today.
It's okay, that's the job of commentators, right?
Exactly. And all right, so Fleury's making his way back downstairs through the tower. He'll get his rat tail, and then I wonder if he's gonna go check the Luca key next while he's in the underworld and find the value that is there.
I think he may go for that Earth Crystal directly. He's got to be feeling behind at this point, having full cleared the moon and gotten nothing of value. Or
Right.
nothing that he realizes is of value.
Right, and then finding that that Cecil and Zot, he may, keep him, and then not sure where he's going to go from there. And looks like Rivers is going to have there goes some of his characters. And Plague gets that count off just in time to keep Yang and Cecil alive.
I'm not sure if Rivers is using that cursed ring right now or not. If he is, then the Berserkers actually shouldn't be in danger. So we also get the Pigtail turn in for Fleury, and an even better weapon for Cecil, so he's going to be pretty happy when he finds the character.
Yeah. He's gonna take, if he goes to Zot next, he's probably gonna take that Cecil. Not sure who he's gonna replace him with, but he's probably gonna.
I would actually probably drop Palom at this point. I don't think Palom has enough levels. Yeah, he's still at 44 and unlikely to do much more grinding. So not getting nuked means Palom's not the most useful late game.
Right, and well, we know, but he doesn't know that there is a Fu in Baron Castle if he decides to go through the whole castle.
Yeah, really doesn't even need Fu at this point, though. Just Rosa plus Berserkers is plenty for Zeromus. And Edge has, like, what, 3 Excals at this point? Well, I guess if he manages to forge at some point.
Yes, they're just throwing Excaliburs out like they're nothing today. And those ghasts doing their time-consuming drain spell, that's not going to really help them at all.
So River's making, or sorry, Fleury making up Zot and finding that Bagan, and he's also at high enough levels that the bosses here shouldn't be too much trouble.
No, yeah, he's just gonna cast Berserk on Edge, and Edge is just gonna slice and dice his way through. And some Artemis arrows. We'll see if he decides to equip those at all. Not even take.
Yeah, at this point, River is not playing to grind anymore, so doesn't need those Artemis arrows.
No, he's just looking for that package.
Yeah, just Cecil and Yang Berserking is plenty strong enough for anything really, and extra spells from Fusilian Palom will do plenty enough damage.
And River's just gonna take on this Elements fight here. He's probably gonna be throwing some nukes at Cecil here, since he got that star value.
Yep, I think bouncing Fire 3s and Cure 4s. This is actually very similar to the strat we use in vanilla. Rivers actually came up with a slightly faster fight for elements recently, using basically this exact setup. Reflected Fire 3s and Cure 4s.
Oh yeah, if they're gonna do that much damage, then why not? Especially with a faster cast time than nuke. Or, cast animation. And Fleury looks like, yep, he picked up that Cecil, and he's going to go ahead and try to back row glitch him before he puts on that crystal sword, I'm guessing. But doesn't have a bow.
Yeah, maybe got rid of the dwarf axe, or maybe he never found one.
And doesn't have that Zeus Gauntlet. I don't remember where we found that.
Might just be on a different character right now, and he didn't bother taking it off. I'm not sure. So Fleury did actually take the time to Cure 4 in between these fights, which is pretty good for him because the initial big wave from Ogo takes out 50% of your entire party's HP. It's important to be healed up for that.
Right, and Rivers is heading to the Bahamut Cave, so I guess he's done checking everything on the moon, and he's gonna find that package and probably be very happy here in a couple minutes.
So did Rivers full clear? I guess he did Bahamut earlier at Wyvern Spots. I think this is his last moon check.
Right, I'm not sure if he checked the Pale Dim spot, but he's probably going to check. He's going to do Bahamut first.
Yeah.
Take the 50-50 odds of it being either a very quick boss fight or a very long boss.
Yeah, he did do that Pale Dim spot first because he grinded a bit on those Dark Imps to get Cecil leveled.
Yep, and he's probably going to be very happy to see the Water Hag right here. And Fleury now with that Baron key, he's going to head inside. And let's see if he heads in to do the 3 boss check. And it looks like he's going to.
It's a little bit unfortunate for us because I think him actually doing those fights means it won't be quite as close to a finish here. Rivers now basically in go mode. We know, and I think he knows at this point. He just has to check that package, and he'll be good to go.
That's right, yeah, he's going to get to the Mist Village as quickly as possible.
think this character has to be a forum. I don't think we've seen her yet.
Or a Kane, unless there's just a character who's omitted.
Oh, right, yeah. One of them the giant, and the other one is here.
Yep, and well, that he's not coming with this group though, as he unleashes his Cagnazos on the village.
I feel like that should count for the objective if you haven't already done it.
You defeat Cagnazo by unleashing him on the Mist Village to water it down. And here's the part where you learn that Kane secretly knows how to summon.
Yeah, every dragon learns how to summon in their training, right?
Right. And Fleury finding the moon boss on the throne, which I believe was the D-Lunar.
To answer a question in chat, this is River's last check, so he knows it has to be Dr. Lugay, which is his final objective. So he just has to do this, and then he can go to Zeromus and finish the game.
And since he did do that, all those moon checks, he did get that pass, so he doesn't even have to go back up to the moon. And I'm wondering if Fleury is very happy to see a Fu right there in Baron.
This not only could be the answer, Ralthan, this has to be the answer. By a process of elimination.
Yeah, because I can't think of another boss check that hasn't been done.
Getting the swag kill on Balnab with Palom swinging his rod.
And Cecil just wrecking him with an Excalibur.
Second time around, he's using the virus because if it doesn't quite kill, then Lugay will counter with a gas, which just takes more time.
Yep. And I believe that is 17 out of 17 for Rivers because he did get the Legends Orb, but just reset out of it. And he has his crystal and is probably on his way up to the.
Yeah, and not just 17 out of 17 key items. He has at least checked every boss. He didn't quite fight a couple of them. Or maybe just the Wyvern and the Giant.
Yep, he has played the whole game.
So with this party, Rory shouldn't need any more grinding. Should be able to just go into his Aromas and Berserk up Yang and Cecil. Make tear up a few times with Rose and Fusoy if needed.
Right, yep, and see where he's heading now. Probably just to Troya. He's heading over there. He's heading up to Z and
putting the Cursed Ring on Fusoya for better agility anchoring, so probably not even going to bother using spells at all.
all right, and as Rivers takes the back door up to the moon, Penguinator, I just have one question I want to ask you this afternoon.
And what is that question?
Is whose butt are we going to be kicking this afternoon?
That is a very good question, and we'll see in just a moment.
And Fleury is finishing up the Antlion there and getting the ribbon.
Instant reset. Ribbon, good defense, but really not needed at this point. Alright, Fleury making the right next guess, going to Sealed Cave, going to find that pan.
As Fusoya uses that crystal.
Is that hummus?
Hummusmus. Yep, hummus.
Can it be the final boss? So is this from a game or is this from Scala Kitty's kitchen?
I'm thinking it's from Scala Kitty's kitchen because I think I've seen that in my kitchen before. All right, and looks like it's getting those berserks out, getting that damage output on the main two characters there, and trying to keep everybody alive.
Yeah, and Rivers did trigger counter nuke to nerf that first Big Bang, just to play it safe. Didn't want to risk an early Rosa wipe.
Right, yep, and those two are just going to just keep punching and slicing.
Oh, he's actually reflecting ice threes with Palom. Not sure that
Well,
that's actually overall worth it with how slow the animation is. But
right, and I mean it threw out 4,500 damage, but I don't know how it is time consuming.
And that Starville is causing him to cure up 1,000 damage, so
It gives
3,000.
it gives the bowl of hummus some hope.
Alright, I guess we're getting some reflected whites as well, so a little bit
so
more
yeah.
value out of that Starville.
Yeah, good hybrid strats here, just to get the boss down as quickly as possible. Hopefully get skip that phase change. As Fleury is taking on the vanilla wall.
Probably not skipping the phase chains for Rivers with the Berserkers going, but he may do enough damage that he doesn't see a second Big Bang.
All right, and Fleury's got the wall down and has, I believe, the Earth Crystal. Or no, the pan. He's got the pan now, so he's going to probably doing the pan check.
Yeah, so Pan will get his 5th objective down. Well, number 5 on our screen. He still has a final Luge hunt. We'll see if he Galaxy Brains and goes to that package next.
I'm thinking that's where he'll go next, since he's already checked the bosses on the moon. He knows it's not on the moon, and the package is going to be just... it's probably a little bit slower than the giant, but would be faster if it is the correct.
Yeah, and in a sense it is the value he got from the moon, so he may opt for that, hoping that's his one chance. Alright, but Rivers does take down Hummus. And final time of 2:01:11, just over 2 hours for a full clear.
And joining us after completing that race is the winner of this one, riversmccown. And so, what did you think of playing the entire game?
Well, Smapety actually, I guess he must have known that I've been sick all week. Haven't really been practicing that much. Feel kind of still a little stuffy, but glad he made me get all of my practice done today.
Alright, so Rivers, why do you hate the moon so much?
I don't hate the moon. I just didn't have a party that I thought worked really well with the moon play at that time. I know I could have taken Tele to Giant or done some hourglasses, but I had low-key items and didn't really think I was going to get a lot of more damage out of my Sid Yang party.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you think about picking up the Edge in Kaipo?
I did, but I never had a weapon for him, and I didn't until I got, what was it, like Murasame in one of the checks. So I didn't really think about going back until I got that, and by that point I had Cecil, so didn't care that much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another routing question I had is, I think you did the summon bosses, got the tower key there, then went to the sealed cave. So what was your thinking in doing those things in that order and then the tower afterwards?
Always sealed.
Well, it worked out for you this time, so can't blame you.
This chat slander of the New York Mets will not stand. I'll have to start kicking people from the server. I'm sorry. It was a good run, everybody, but it's all over.
Right, and one more question. Do you think the Mets have a chance this year?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. But it feels good. Oh, and since I caught the very end of the restream, Penguin, the reason you cast Ice 3 is because I don't like my hummus warm. I wanted to chill it down a little bit.
That's fair.
All right, well, thanks, Rivers. Congratulations on being 4-0 and making it to the bracket round.
Thank you very much. Hope to keep playing well and not be sick.
All right, well, good luck on your next match, and I hope to play you soon.
Well, we might be playing sooner than you think.
All right, looks like Fleury, he's dipping in Cape Magnus, so we're gonna get some bonus music.
And Fleury not wanting to listen to that music, resetting as soon as he sees that boss. Which, given his key items, is definitely the right play. He knows there's no possible key item that he needs from there.
Right now, looks like he's going to save some time here by not even going to the giant because he's going to check the package out real quick. I think this is his last boss on the overworld that isn't in the giant. And
Yeah,
he's going to
he
water
has
down the
whatever.
village.
So with this, Fleury will finish up this check and he'll also be in go mode. And he's probably ready to take care of Zeromus as well. He has that Crystal Sword Cecil, so he'll be even stronger.
Yeah, I don't see him needing to do any more grinding. He's just going to beat up Lugay real quick and then hit right for the move. And enjoy his lovely bowl of hummus.
Although his Daryl is only at 1500 HP, so he may actually kill a few eggs just to make sure he has enough HP to survive Big Bangs. Daryl is his name for Cecil, by the way. So we'll see if Fleury has as much swag in killing the Lugae bosses as Rivers did with his Palom swinging the rod.
Yeah, because why not use swag when you can use swag?
I didn't notice whether Fleury picked up that Fusoya. I imagine he did, wanting to have an extra healer.
I believe he did. I think he got rid of his Palom for Fuso.
Yeah, looks like you're right. That makes sense. Not gonna have enough levels for Nuke. And Fleury might not like his Hummus Cold as much as Rivers.
And one crystal sword to the face, and Dr. Lugae is no more, thus completing his final objective and giving Fleury his crystal.
I'd actually kind of like to see a Kane pick up here for an agility anchor against the Romus, just having a lower level character.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who he would trade out in that case. If it's probably would be Yang.
Yang or one of the mages. I'm not sure if Rosa has Cure for yet. If she doesn't, then she's not as useful. But no, just sticking with his current party. It is easier that way to not have to bother re-equipping people.
Right, he's got the crystal. He's going downstairs though.
Yeah, probably just gonna pop a few eggs, get Cecil above 2000 HP.
Right, make sure he can definitely survive a an unnerfed Big Bang. Also, just one point out, Fleury is also 17-ish out of 17 for his run today, so he has played the vast majority of. Unlike Sorry Rivers, you played the whole game. And Rosa getting white, so that might actually help a little bit on the final boss.
The Crystal Sword Cecil you probably don't bother with white casts, but we'll see. I'd rather just leave Rosa there ready to cure to make sure you're safe. The Crystal Sword is just so much faster than the white cast in terms of animation.
Right, yep, and gonna. I mean, he's got that Zeus Gauntlet too on Cecil, so that's gonna make it go a little bit faster, probably.
Yeah, Cecil's probably pretty close to max strength at this point. Well, I guess that power shirt's not on him right now, so maybe not.
Yep, and he's gonna go ahead and back row glitch him as well.
I feel like you don't really need to do that if he's in the front row, but maybe he's swapping his party up. Okay, Fusoya middle, that makes sense though. And I think Fleury still has probably 2 Excaliburs and the spoon, so Edge can go ahead and dart those for almost 30k just by himself.
Well, I see at least one Excalibur. I don't know what happened to the other one, unless it's just somewhere else in the inventory.
Oh, accidentally walked into the castle instead of the village. Happens to everyone from time to time.
Yep. Go ahead. Hand over that pass, and yep, guy just tells you, go have a good time. All right, here he is. He's gonna find his snack. Which, you know, the spoon would probably work really well with, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah, that is true. Hummus probably has a spoon weakness, but spoon does max damage most of the time anyway, so it's hard to tell.
Wouldn't it be funny if it's actually strong against spoon? I mean, it is hummus.
Oh yeah, an Avenger, so Fleury just waiting for that crystal to swap the weapons and then get Cecil berserked a little bit faster, and then Rosa can start berserking up other people.
Yep, and just moving everything that's dartable up to the top of the inventory, so you can just grab it and. And there he goes. He's got his bowl hummus and that crystal sword, even without being berserked. Oh, he's already berserked. Yep. So it's just whacking away.
And we should note that there's some glitches with Berserk and Avenger, so when you swap from the Crystal Sword to the Avenger, or any weapon swap to the Avenger, then you get the Berserk effect from the Avenger, but you still have the stats of the original weapon. So even though it looks like he's using the Avenger, it's attacking with a Strength or Crystal Sword.
And I'm wondering if that also goes around the berserk resistance of the crystal armor.
So Avenger, yes, does bypass the Crystal Armor.
And seeing the first big bang here, and we'll wonder if we're going to see another one with everybody just beating up on this poor bowl of hummus.
Not be surprised if we don't see any more. Now berserking up Edge as well, he's going to be hitting for probably close to 4,000. 3,000, still pretty good.
Yeah, so they're going to be hitting pretty hard. That hummus will be gone, and the party will be over.
Yeah, not bothering with offensive spellcast. Just letting the berserkers do their work and being ready to cure up if another big bang comes about. But we might not actually see one.
Right, yeah, just using their scalers to keep everybody topped off. But yeah, they're just beating up on that poor hump. And out there is another big bang, so I was surprised to see that. But they should be getting close to the end. Now I'm just wondering if we're even going to see rocks fall.
Edge actually does go down to that big bang.
Ooh, that was a hearty big bang from that bowl of hummus.
Yeah, shouldn't be too much of a big deal though. This hummus should be pretty low in HP, and Cecil can kill it pretty quickly.
Yeah, because here come the falling rocks, and a couple more whacks with the crystal sword, and it should be over.
Oh, and Yang with the kill. And a final time of 2:17:43 for Fleury.
Right, joining us in the booth now that now that we've seen him complete the race and just demolish that bowl of hummus. Fleury, GG's.
Thank you very much.
All right, so my first question, how do you feel after taking down Leviathan and getting underground?
Awful. So the biggest issue I ran into was that, well, there are two big issues with how I ran that, and the first one was that my early game was absolutely basura. Wiping to Val, probably coming about 200 HP or so without getting that done, which if I would have done shopping first and found the vampires, that's easy. Miss targeting on the dolls to have to take a reset there, then realizing, hey, big doll would have been just fine. And then struggling a little bit on the grind fight, so underground at 55 minutes is not good at all. And then at that point, I figured I got to make some kind of gamble, and my decision was go to the moon as soon as I could, and I needed to pay off a lot more than it actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I will say you at least did find the package first, which ended up being a lot more important because we all know how often we check the package.
Yeah, that was kind of funny to see. Ultimately, if I would have checked the package early, it wouldn't have gained me that much more time. I kind of needed it to be something that was going to prevent me from doing checks. If I had opened that early, the only thing I wouldn't have ended up doing that I did end up doing would have been the Twin Harp check. So I kind of needed it to be Pan and Baron Key to just, if it comes down to a boss thing you hit at the moon on just a boss check, you can either reset out of them or at least just take the free ones, and I believe that one was behind Water Hag, which is not a problem. So yeah, I just needed it to be a little more. You always love as a viewer to see a required package boss, maybe not so much as a runner, since after a bad early game I needed something that was not going to make me full clear, and that's usually something that makes you full clear.
Yeah, I think with an earlier package you could have skipped the actual Baron Castle and the Twin Harp, which would have made things pretty close, maybe cut 10 minutes or so. But yeah, not enough value on that moon for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I probably would have followed through on it before I checked Luca Key. Luca Key is actually usually something I do like to do a little early. I just felt like after a rough first 55 minutes, I had to deviate from my standard plan.
So going against Rivers specifically, did you make any adjustments to your usual play?
A little bit, but not much. It would have been a hook seed, so even if I would have put off Fabul, I would have done it before diving down. I did check Sheila 1 relatively earlier than I normally would have, because that was one of the gambles that, at that point I need to make up time. And I think Rivers doesn't usually like to check Sheila 1. So that's probably the only thing I really did that was differently than I normally would, that had to do with who I was facing as opposed to just being in a bad spot.
Right. And I had a question queued up and I completely forgot it. Okay, well, GG's Fleury. Look forward to seeing you next week. Hopefully you can secure your spot in the bracket round with a win next week and go 4-1.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I didn't have expectations of going 5-0, but I would have liked to have this one. I know whoever I face in the next round is going to be super difficult regardless. My strength of schedule is pretty good, so even if I do end up 3-2, I'm still pretty confident that I can get at least one of the next two and go from there.
All right, well, GG today. Thanks for putting on a good show for us.
Yeah, you bet. Appreciate you guys taking the time out to do the commentary, restream, and tracking. Bummer that naming my characters after the 1986 New York Mets did not bring me good luck. Yes, catch you guys later.
Right, and with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this stream. I believe we're gonna go raid Accident, who's doing a vanilla no 64 speedrun.
Yep, and I believe he's actually on a good pace. I will say that much. I will not say anything beyond that. So thank you for joining us on this Sunday afternoon, everybody. I really appreciate it. And Penguinator, any last?
Just thanks to you, Fries. It's been a pleasure commentating with you.
All right, and I just want to take a moment to thank the other half of our, the silent half of our restream team, Antidale on tracking and Smapedy on the restream this afternoon. Go in, give them a follow, give Penguinator a follow. It's been fun, everybody, and we're going to go ahead and toss it over Accident, see how his PB Vanilla No 64 run is going, and everyone else have a good Sunday afternoon.